That was fascinating, and your presentation is beyond belief. But you left us with a dilemma, which is, what can be done about this? How do we change it? Social media is getting stronger and stronger. What about those of us who come and are only too glad to meet new people around the table or whatever and have discussions?
Okay, so the book is a pretty dark book, but there are a few ideas. So there's institutions and there's individuals. In terms of institutions, if you look at the remarks from Facebook's leadership in the last months, they are on this problem. And they recently made an announcement with respect to both fake news and the news feed that are, alert to the advantages of an architecture of serendipity. So they recently tweaked their news feed in such a way that the related articles you're going to get aren't basically the daily you. It's going to be stuff on the topic, but it's not going to just tell you what you already think. There's been, at the intersection of technology and democracy, there's been a flood of innovation just in maybe the last 8 weeks, where you can get on your cell phone something called Read the Other Side, which shows you as you use the app whether you're getting bluer and bluer and bluer or redder and redder and redder. And if you get really blue or really red, there will come a warning saying, and don't ask me how I know that. And the range of entities that are doing these things is very large. So if one is involved in communications provision, as a number of people in this room are, at with either a small little startup or with something large, you can do stuff like this. At the individual level, a lot depends on what kind of culture we have. So if we have a culture that celebrates self-sorting, either through voluntary choice or through acceptance of algorithms into stuff, then to be alert that you might be actually getting into a DDD panel. That can shift you a bit. And maybe in the recent election, the fact that many Americans are uncomprehending of how anyone could have voted for Secretary Clinton. And many Americans are, how could someone who's sane vote for Donald Trump? And that's a problem, because the millions of people who voted for each of them, most of them don't have a problem of mental illness. Maybe I can get a little more specific by saying that the data suggests that the percentage of Democrats and Republicans who would be unhappy if their child married someone of a different political party is actually quite high. About a third of Democrats and nearly half of Republicans. Whereas a number of decades ago, the percentage was trivial. In fact, people would be much more content if their child married someone of a different skin color than if their child married someone of a different political party. Now, along one dimension, that's fantastic progress, but it suggests something into which the phenomenon I'm discussing feeds. And each of us can think, that's ridiculous, and we can counteract it in a little way. And since every big macro thing has micro foundations, a little act of that's ridiculous can move a bit, the macro.